Welcome to today's news discussion. I'm Claire, and joining me is Alan.
Hello, I'm Alan. Let's dive into the stories making headlines.
The first story is about a federal judge striking down President Trump's $100,000 fee on new H-1B visas. U.S. District Judge Leo Sorokin in Boston ruled the charge unlawful.
That's interesting. What was the reasoning behind the judge's decision?
The reporting indicates that Judge Sorokin invalidated the fee, stating it was unlawful. This decision came after a lawsuit was brought by 20 plaintiffs.
So, what does this mean for employers and workers who were affected by the fee?
Essentially, the fee will no longer be enforced. This should ease the burden on employers, particularly in the tech sector and universities, who use H-1B visas to hire skilled workers.
The announcement of the fee back in September caused quite a stir. Do we know how many applications were impacted before the judge's ruling?
The exact number isn't clear from the reporting, but it's mentioned that the announcement set off confusion and panic among employers, students, and workers.
There's also a mention of an earlier federal court ruling that upheld the fee. How does this latest ruling contradict that?
The latest ruling by Judge Sorokin directly contradicts the earlier ruling, creating a legal inconsistency that might need further clarification or appeal. Moving on to our next story, Iran has launched ballistic missiles at Israel, marking the first such attack since a ceasefire took effect in early April.
This is a significant escalation. What do we know about the missile strikes?
The Israeli military reported that Iran launched the missiles on Sunday. This attack has raised fears of renewed conflict in the region.
How did Israel respond to the missile strikes?
According to the reporting, there were sirens across northern Israel as the missiles were detected. The exact response from Israel isn't detailed in the articles.
This development complicates mediation efforts for a deal to end the war. Do we know if there were any casualties or damage reported?
The initial reports don't specify casualties or damage, but the fact that sirens were triggered indicates that the strikes were significant enough to be detected and responded to. President Trump has urged Iran and Israel to stop shooting immediately amid the renewed conflict.
That's a pretty direct intervention. What was the context of Trump's statement?
Trump's statement came after fresh missile and airstrikes threatened to unravel a fragile ceasefire in the region. Israel had launched strikes inside Iran, and Tehran retaliated with a barrage against Israel.
So Trump's call is essentially a plea for both sides to cease hostilities. Do we know how Iran and Israel responded to Trump's statement?
The reporting doesn't provide a direct response from either Iran or Israel to Trump's statement. However, it's worth noting that Iran later announced a halt in operations against Israel. Ukrainian forces have struck several oil facilities inside Russia and occupied Crimea, aiming to make Moscow bear the economic cost of the war.
That's a significant escalation by Ukraine. What do we know about the strikes?
Russia's defense ministry reported that its air defenses were activated and the strikes were aimed at oil facilities. This is part of Ukraine's campaign to impose economic costs on Moscow.
How might this affect the broader conflict?
By targeting oil facilities, Ukraine is likely trying to disrupt Russia's ability to wage war and impact its economy. This could have significant implications for the ongoing conflict. Finally, Iran's main military command announced the cessation of operations against Israel, according to the semi-official Fars news agency.
That's a notable development after the recent escalation. What were the specifics of Iran's announcement?
The Khatam al-Anbiya central headquarters stated that the Iranian armed forces had halted operations against Israel. They also warned of harsher attacks if Israel resumes attacks on Lebanon.
So, this is a conditional ceasefire. How might this impact the regional dynamics?
The halt in operations could be a step towards de-escalation, but the condition attached by Iran indicates that the situation remains volatile.
Well, it's been a complex week with several major developments. Let's wrap up today's discussion.
Indeed, the stories we've covered highlight the ongoing tensions and conflicts in various parts of the world. That's all for today.
Goodbye, and see you later.
See you later.